Alrighty, we got our weekend kingdom. What's going on today? Oh goodness. I'm not on my normal device, and apparently I don't know how to scroll with this mouse. Alright, there's the landscapes. We got Silos, Palace, and Great Leader. Alright, with that in mind, draw is Moat or Witch's Hut. Both of which are effectively +1 card. Witch's Hut says +4, but you discard 2, and so you end up with a hand size that's only 1 larger than when you played it. Still not a bad card if you can support it. Magpie is draw if it reveals a treasure, and then Crypt is draw over the long term. The turn you play it, it's draw negative, but then for the next few turns you put an extra card in your hand, and then you're usually net drawing cards out of that. The only village is Kitsune, which on its own actually would not be enough to support an engine. It says +2 actions, but doesn't draw any cards. So this is effectively -1 card +1 action. You play that with a Moat, which is +1 card -1 action. You're just spinning your wheels. You make a little money each time, but you're not getting any larger in terms of hand size. That being said, oh god, how do I scroll? I literally don't know how to scroll. Okay. In this kingdom, Kitsune is the Omen, which in this case triggers Great Leader. So once between you and your opponent, you've played Kitsune 5 times. For the rest of the game, every action is functionally non-terminal. And then once that has happened, I'm struggling. I'm really struggling. How do I get... I just want to see the key. Close it, reopen it. We're doing this manually. So once you've played Kitsune 5 times, for the rest of the game, your Witch's Huts, your Moats, everything else becomes non-terminal. And so the Moat's just like a $2 lab at that point. That is surely where this kingdom is going. You add a Kitsune early, give it a few curses, and then you can add as many draw cards as you want without worrying about terminal space. Thinning, plenty of ways to trash here. Sanctuary, Crypt, Monastery, Ratcatcher. Kind of significant that Sanctuary and Crypt technically don't trash the coppers. You can exile your coppers, you can set them aside, and they're still in your deck for the purposes of Palace, which I would bring up here if I knew how to scroll, but you have to take my word for it that Palace says for each set of copper, silver, gold you have, it's worth 3 victory points. So it's good to have coppers around. There's easy silver gainers here with Kitsune and Workshop, which put together means basically every gold you buy is worth 3 points here. Usually Palace I think is ignorable. I actually ban it just because I think it is either useless or encourages kind of basic uninteresting decks. But here you can keep your coppers around one way or another, and then all your gold's worth 3 points. So it's just like a duchy that also acts as payload. Seems pretty decent. What else? Plus buy. The only plus buy is Sanctuary. A little bit of a limitation, but it's not a bad card to add. It's cantrip, so it doesn't really hurt your deck, and you probably want Sanctuary to anyway. Only problem is like every plus buy card you add is a 5-cost card that's otherwise doing not a whole lot for you. To compete with some other 5s. So plus buy is not trivial or anything. Overall, I think this seems pretty clear. Play Kitsune, get some draw cards, get some treasures, get a little plus buy. You can score over a very extended over an extended period of time, the opposite of a point in time. Add golds for 3 points each, add duchies or provinces, exile them. The deck's never going to fall apart. Yeah. The exact order of things seems less obvious. A lot of this stuff seems potentially relevant. You don't know what order you click it all in. For the opening, I would think Magpie should be the 4-cost card. In general, a very strong card, also a card you want early because it has a tendency to snowball. The first Magpie gains Magpie, then gains Magpie, and then all of a sudden the Magpie pile is empty. So if you want it early. You usually want it, so you usually want to open with it. And if you open with Magpie, you probably don't want to open with Monastery as your trasher, because Monastery is a night card, which is notably not a treasure, action, or victory card. So if Magpie reveals Monastery, you get nothing and you're sad. So I would think probably the 2 openings that jump out to me are Magpie Ratcatcher, using Ratcatcher to deal with the estates, or Magpie Silver, aiming to hit 5 and add a Sanctuary to deal with the estates. A little bit slower if you're not adding the Thinner immediately, but Sanctuary is a card you want soon-ish anyway for the plus buy. And Ratcatcher's not that fast because you play it and then you call it the following turn. So often it misses the shuffle. The estate you trashed was in the next shuffle and so on. So it's not that much slower. And I think the upside of having Sanctuary early seems worth it. So I'm going to go for the Magpie Silver route. I think Magpie Ratcatcher also seems pretty reasonable. The bot just has the 5-2, that lucky duck. This is a pretty good draw though. If I hit 4 here, I'm almost guaranteed to hit 5 next turn, provided I find my Magpie. Or if I bottom deck my Magpie, but still find 3 coppers and a silver, I'm fine. And I think Silos plus Sanctuary sounds great. Silos too early can be a little dangerous. I don't want to discard coppers here because I'll trigger a shuffle, and then my Sanctuary would miss the shuffle. Anyway, Silos too early can be dangerous because if you buy it turn 1 and you sift all your coppers, that's just a recipe for drawing all your estates over and over and hitting like 2 or 3 a bunch. Speaking of hitting 3, let's take a moat. Bot's already got 2 Kitsunes. Oh goodness. So I'd say Silos gets really good basically the moment you have 1 card you really want to find in your deck. In this case, I really want to play my Sanctuary a bunch. And then Silos helps you cycle to that. Also, it gets really good once you get rid of your estates, which I am trying to do now. I'll go ahead and add a Kitsune now myself. Moat on top, please. Nope. Looks like it didn't matter. Bot had no Kitsunes that turn anyway. I think I take actions here. This is an okay shuffle to trigger. My Sanctuary's down there. If I find that, that's lovely. If not, it's at least on top for the next turn. And I believe I've just top decked a moat, which is nice. At least there's a moat down there, so with 5/6 certainty, I'll be able to block attack. What happened to my voice? I'll be able to block attacks next turn. What am I adding now? These curses are a nuisance. I'm considering adding Monastery now to deal with the curses. Still a little awkward with Magpie, but it can trash multiple curses at once. Could also just be a second Sanctuary and exile them. Great Leader's at 1. That's going to be activated before my next turn. Now I'm leaning towards Witch's Hut, maybe. It's just a lot of sifting. It's pretty likely to get me to find my Sanctuary and my Kitsune, or to exile all my states. I think I'm leaning towards Witch's Hut. Thank you, Moat. You are a godsend. So, Great Leader has been activated. I can just play these without worrying about it. Bot has a moat. Don't think it makes sense to play this Magpie. I have a 1/3 chance of gaining a Magpie if it reveals the Magpie. But a guarantee of top decking at least 1 curse. Actually, exactly 1 curse. Because I either draw a curse or I draw the Magpie, which draws a curse next. Anyways, this is 9 money and 2 buys. Do I want a free silver? I'm certainly going to want a free silver soon-ish. I don't know if I want a free silver at the moment. Like with 2 buys, I don't have really any use for more than 11 money at the moment. I think I'm going to pass on the silver for the time being. Time to add a crypt for the coppers. And yeah, I think a monastery is in order. Or maybe I crypt the coppers first, and then my deck is thin and I line up the monastery. Second Witch's Hut, Relic. I don't think the Relic hits enough. The bot already has 2 moats in the deck and will surely add more soon. I might add a second Witch's Hut. Okay, that's a lot of curses. I was kind of hoping to find my Kitsune before I played the Witch's Hut. At this point, it's probably going to be a moot point. But playing the Kitsune tells me in advance whether the bot has a moat, and then I would know whether I need to discard with the Witch's Hut before the shuffle. give it a curse, and I can take a silver now. It's going to be kind of a nasty shuffle. Hopefully I can make do. I don't know how to scroll down. Please, thank you. Second sanctuary. Unfortunately, this is heading towards the type of kingdom that the bot really likes, and I don't at all. Which is to say, one that ends very early on a 3 pile. The bot seems to love these kingdoms where it's like you rush down 2 piles and then you just buy out the estates or the duchies or something. And there's not a whole lot of time for gameplay and coming back. So gotta watch out. Magpies will be empty imminently, probably within 1 or 2 plays on this turn. Curses are already out. I'm at a points deficit. This is exactly the sort of situation where the bot just like snaps up some moats while you're not looking. So I need to worry about points ASAP. I think I might just take a copper here. The thing I care about most here is not dudding. I want to draw my deck and find that monastery, and then I can get thin. God dang it. Well, no monastery today. Second crypt. I have a lot of curses to deal with. A lot. Yep. Bot's gonna lower the moat pile. I can feel it. Please, magpie, treasure. Thank you. Well, I've got a few of them. Coins, gain silver. Okay. I want more moats. Moat is just a $2 lab, but I just cannot afford to lower that pile at all. This might just be province. It could also be gold for 3 points, and then a something else. None of the $3 or less somethings are sounding all that good, though. So I think it's just province. My deck is not at the point where I want to be buying a province, not at all. But the bot's kind of forcing my hand here with the moat pile. I believe the bot has 2 sanctuaries, and so is threatening 3 moats per turn, potentially. I think the dangerous thing here is like a moat in a province, and then it just keeps the points lead and lowers the pile a little bit before I can catch up. And then at some point it grabs a bunch of moats. You know what? This surprises me a lot, and I don't think that's a good play. Province moat just seems way scarier to me than province witch's hut. I mean, witch's hut, again, it draws exactly as much as a moat. It is better than a moat because it sifts your cards more, so you find the right cards in the right order. But in terms of winning the game as soon as possible, lowering the moat pile is the scariest thing to me. And for some reason the bot didn't do that. I think the bot's in general pretty good at piling out, even over multiple turns. I'm not sure why it's not aiming to do that here. That was probably a bad order. I absolutely could have drawn and played this silver. Definitely just a mistake on my part for no good reason. It will. And I will buy 2 coppers here so I can trash full of curses. Okay, I feel very much back in this game. I managed to deal with the curses in time before the moat pile got too low. I don't know that I'm winning yet, but and actually seeing the double province, all of a sudden I'm not even sure that I'm above 50%. Maybe I'm out of the frying pan and into a different fire. Okay, let's see what we can do. But you don't need to reveal your moat. I'm happy for you that you have that, but there are no curses in the pile. Okay, so I only have 3 buys at the moment, which kind of caps how much I can score. Don't love the idea of lowering provinces, but I'm also at a pretty big points deficit. So it could be like province double gold. Loses the double province if the bot can do that again. I don't know how consistent the bot's deck is. It does have some Witch's Hut, so maybe not that inconsistent. The trouble is, if the bot's got double province, I'm probably losing anyway. Like if I try to play around double province and do like triple gold or something, I'm at 19. The bot goes up to 40. I'm not beating 40 anytime soon, I don't think. Not with 3 buys. Province double gold brings me to 22. And if the bot does province duchy, I'm still losing. I think the thing I'm realizing is I think any line is going to involve me getting like at least 2 more turns. So I should probably plan around having some plus buy. Where are my crypts at? I'm not sure gold is actually better than duchy. I guess it's still ever so slightly better. I was considering, like, I don't need the money, so I might as well take a duchy and exile it. But I guess if I'm willing to take a duchy and exile it, why not just take a gold and exile it for the same reasons? Yeah, I think it's just 2 golds here. Like, I'm not really capped at how many golds I can buy in a meaningful sense, because I got like 7 coppers, or more than that at this point. And I can easily gain more silvers. Okay, province moat. I should probably actually be exiling more things. I don't think I'm gonna need the money that much. Yeah, I can't draw at all. So it's definitely not a win. If I hadn't exiled the money, I would have a losing tie, right? 2 provinces, 2 duchies would be 18 points, and that would be exactly tied. But as player 1, that's not a true tie. So I got a player on the bot getting another turn. So now I've got 5 golds. I can take a 6 gold and it won't register immediately for points, but I can kind of, or maybe it will. Yeah, I've got 6 silver, so never mind. I could take a 6 gold and it will register. Even if I took a 7th gold, I could gain a silver mid-turn off of the Kitsune if I get another turn. So I guess gold duchy. And how many coppers do I have at this point? 4 in play, 1 on exile, 8 coppers, okay. I think I can afford to trash 2 just fine. Decline. Uh-oh. GG. Yeah, Bot had the 5-2 and went for the Curse Rush, which, like I said, not my preferred style of play. We just entered the end game very fast, and then I had to start scoring before my deck was really up and running. So not a bad play by the bot for sure. And was there anything I could have done about that? I'm not sure. I mean, I was quite close, I think. I was just a little shy of having the win on those final turns. A dud from the bot or a failure to hit double province, I think, would have been enough to clinch it. Bot does not have the 5-2 this time, so hopefully the odds will be in my favor. Again, you don't want to discard the coppers or my Sanctuary misses the shuffle. Bot going for the immediate Kitsune. This line makes total sense, right? The bot, right, the log doesn't work. But I believe the bot opened Magpie Ratcatcher, which is the other thing I was considering, and then it lets it take Kitsune as its first 5, which, yeah, I wish the scroll wheel worked on this mouse. You're not actually that likely to hit 5 off of a Magpie Ratcatcher opening, yeah, unlikely or anything. But yeah, if you can open Magpie Ratcatcher and take a Kitsune, that sounds like a pretty decent opening to me. Obviously, the silver makes you a lot more likely to hit 5 than the Ratcatcher does. It is both extra money, and it's also a card the Magpie can draw. Anyways, I should add my first Kitsune now. Coins, gain a curse. And what's my next 5? Unclear. Crypt already? I still have 2 estates in my deck. That feels a little bit early. Relic? The bot's got a moat. Relic's a good attack, but if you end up with a bunch of moats anyway, and if the Relic's only hitting ever so often, then it's usually going to be a silver, which I think is not worth it. Great Leader is not low enough for me to want a Witch's Hut quite yet. Second Kitsune, Sanctuary, Crypt, all of those sound alright. Go for the Crypt. Coins, curse opponent. Now I'll take a Witch's Hut. Both of us play Great Leader one more time each. That'll be active already. I've hit 4. Double moat. So here, there's 1 sun left. So as long as I play the Kitsune before the Witch's Hut, it'll activate, and I don't even need to take plus actions. Let's go Coins, Curse. Alright, this is going a lot better than last time. Second Crypt time, looks like. Does a Workshop make any sense for picking up these moats? Maybe? Sounds okay. Could it be Crypt Moat directly? Happy to see a moat in hand. Alright, bot's got a moat in hand, no sense in discarding actions. Coins, gain silver. But time for some plus buy. So this game is already going to play out a bit differently because curses aren't empty already. So the moat pile is low. But the curses haven't run. And I've got the points lead. I think this is actually just a gold. I'm about to exile a ton of my coppers. Or not exile, I'll set them aside. So I could use the extra payload for the moment. The bot's also only got the one kitsune, which is a pretty big difference. Even if I managed to, even if I don't manage to find a moat, I'm only getting hit with one curse, which is not so scary. Bot does not have a moat in hand, which also means Witch's Hut is going to activate. Gold double moat, I think. Is that safe? I think it is. The curses are low, the moats are low. Bot gives out one curse. It still only has at most 2 total buys. I think this does more to threaten a pile out against the bot than it does to open one up. Darn. So I think, had it not had the moat in hand, I give out 2 curses, I buy curse and some points, I would win. As it stands, I don't have enough buys to win this turn, but there's always next turn. Okay. Province. Witch's Hut gold. Okay, so now I just have to not dud and I win. If I find my second sanctuary, oh no, I lied. I was gonna say I've got a points lead and enough buys to buy 3 curses, but I've only got a 2-point lead. So buying 3 curses would be a loss. So this is a win if the bot has failed to top deck moat. Darn it. Alright, fine bot, we can play it on another turn. This is just a totally one position, but it's not like a technically one position quite yet. Oopsie. Need that 3rd buy. Bot insists on doing it the hard way. So I think the biggest thing I failed to grok at the start of the first game was just how conducive this kingdom was to a 3 pile, which, you know, in hindsight, it does seem clear. Magpie is just a card you should assume is always going to pile. Functionally turns 3 piles into 2 piles. That is not surprising or news. And then I had also put together that early game plan is play some kitsunes. I mean, like, this kingdom demonstrates that that is not going to, like, as a foregone conclusion, lead the curse pile to empty, but it certainly could, depending on how the game shakes out. Like, the bot just went for a bunch of kitsunes early last time, and with the 5-2, that was enough to empty the curse pile. And then lastly, if you played kitsunes, moat's a cheap pile that you're going to spam. I think it's probably more predictable than my analysis led on that, like, a magpie moat curse pile out's a threat. I'm not exactly sure how that changes your game plan, but probably the fact that the game is likely to end in the short term is something that is worth watching out for. Anyways, I now have the Curse Pilot. And that's the kingdom.